What's up, everybody? Welcome back. We are the Engadget Podcast, and we are broadcasting live on Thursday mornings, as we normally do. I'm Senior Editor Devendra Hardwar, and I'm joined by our Senior Mobile Editor, Chris Velasco. Hey, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning. And our podcast producer, Ben Ellman. Hey, Ben.
Who is trying not to be washed out right now, currently playing with my camera settings.
The sun is just slowly creeping into Ben's room.
The eternal struggle.
Hey,
yeah.
I love having a desk that faces a window, but this is
Great.
just the price I pay for it.
This is we got to get Ben some curtains, please.
I have the problem is that the Venetian blinds leave
Not blinds, curtains. Everybody, Sherlyn is out. Sherlyn's on vacation, so we are just having a good old time without her. Please send her your thoughts and well wishes, and tell her not to work. Tell her to relax a little, please. As usual, folks, we are going to be doing a live stream in between our podcast recording. So we're going to be talking about Amazon's MGM deal, and we'll be recording the episode, so we can't talk to you in the middle of that. But we will do some breaks for audience Q&A. And things like that. So yeah, do we want to say hi to the live stream and everybody who's here?
We've got, who do we have in the chat right now? We've got Ray Exception.
Hello.
We've got who is it? Oh, Gabriel, who said, I'm guessing Chris won't be joining because that boy hates mornings.
I sure do. But I feel so seen, and it's not great.
Josh David, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Dell, Mark Saint Domingo, some dude named Chris Velasco. I don't know who that is.
I don't know
real,
who that
real
is.
jerk.
You really missed a good opportunity for the surprise MFer meme, Chris.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can't.
That's from Dexter, right?
Yeah, but like, is that okay for the podcast? I don't know. This is not my show. I feel like I can't just walk in and just
you could tone it down. That was the last season of Dexter, which turned into a really bad show. I recall.
Was that the last season
I think it was. Was that when he?
No, I thought it was the first.
Was it the first?
I
thought it was when he
definitely not the first season.
I think it's when he knew Dexter was the killer. I think that was the.
We're talking about that moment when like Dokes pops out with the gun. There's no way that's the first season, but I don't think it's the last either.
God, that show got so bad. Let's talk about Dexter, everybody. Oh man.
Hey, does MGM own Dexter? Can we shoehorn it into the conversation?
I don't even know. I do know they're trying to reboot Dexter, which God. Great. Anyway. Hello, chat. Hello, everybody. We got some news. It's not gonna be as news heavy.
Who the hell is Chris Velasco?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I wonder that every day.
In a couple weeks, we're going to be asking ourselves that too. Sorry, Chris.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about that at some point.
Who is this guy? This big time writer.
Oh shit.
We once knew him.
All right,
are we good to start the show?
Yeah, I think we're good to start the show.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. What's up, Internet, and welcome back to the Engadget Podcast. I'm Senior Editor Devendra Hardwar, and today I'm joined by our Senior Mobile Editor, Chris Velasco. Hey, Chris.
Hello, and good morning, and welcome to the Engadget Podcast.
We are having a grand old time because Sherlyn Lowe is on vacation, so we could just like let loose, right, and have a little party.
Well, so this is I feel like a golden opportunity. I can do like my weird ASMR stuff and my like public radio impersonation voice stuff, right? Like this is the time
Which
I can
can't do around Sherlyn for some reason.
She finds it extremely disturbing, and I can't blame her for that. I feel like that's pretty much the response every time I do it.
Different strokes for different folks. Everybody, today, we'll be chatting about Amazon's Mgm acquisition, which is a pretty big deal for Amazon and honestly a pretty big deal for the media landscape and Hollywood in general. And we've got a couple other bits of news. It's not going to be as news heavy as last week, so we're going to have a bit of fun with this. As always, please subscribe to the Engadget Podcast on iTunes or your podcatcher of choice. Leave us a review on iTunes. That's always super helpful. And drop us an email at podcast@engadget.com if you want to, chat with us. You can also find us live streaming the show typically around 10 a.m. Eastern every Thursday morning. So join us for a fun time. We'll do some Q&A. You'll get to see what our rooms look like. It's fun. Join us. Okay, Chris. Amazon announced this week that it intends to buy MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. That's a big deal, right?
Is it?
Is it? What is it? Yeah.
I'm very pleased that you're here. Because I have not watched a movie in my entire life, and I have no real understanding of film history or Hollywood history.
TikToks and YouTube videos.
It's just YouTube, man. It's just Project Farm, watching guys test like transmissions and stuff all the time. So you
love your farm guys.
Exactly. So you tell me, is this a big deal? I mean, financially, it's a huge number. It's north of $8 billion paid for MGM, which is their second biggest acquisition ever, just behind Whole Foods.
And Whole Foods was $13.7 billion. So it's not even that high, but I feel like the Whole Foods thing surprised everybody, right? Because it wasn't just that Amazon bought a company, it was Amazon bought a physical grocer, right? Which is a renowned place where they're a high-end grocer. They're a place that exists in a lot of especially affluent communities, and Whole Foods just instantly gave Amazon a physical presence. What does the MGM deal give Amazon? I think that's the real question. And I think immediately you look at what MGM has as a storied Hollywood studio. It has a lot of content. It has a wealth of content. And it's the sort of thing that Amazon could get to bolster up Prime Video, to make it a more compelling service than Netflix or HBO Max, which is, that whole AT&T and Time Warner deal, which is confusing too, because we didn't talk about AT&T trying to spin that off and sell that and combine that with Discovery. So the world of media is kind of a mess right now. But basically, MGM as a studio has been trying to sell itself for years. Apparently, there have been rumors for a while now. It makes Amazon Prime Video stronger. But I also don't know, Peter Kafka wrote a good piece over at Vox, I believe, where he projects that it's probably going to be, it's more like a way for Amazon to prevent Prime subscribers from leaving. Basically, it's a reason to keep your subscription around. So yeah, we got a lot of content. What does that mean? And also the early content, the pre-1983 content, or especially the movies, the big movies like, was it Gone with the Wind and Singing in the Rain? Aren't part of this deal because MGM sold those to Ted Turner in the 80s. Because it turns out we had the same problem, or at least he had the same problem that Amazon's having now. He had TBS, he had Turner Classic Movies, he had stations that he needed to fill content, and that's why we all grew up watching those movies on cable over and over again. So yeah, it's kind of history repeating itself. Does this strike you as surprising or odd, Chris?
I mean, I feel like the number came as a bit of a surprise, and I think that's true for a lot of people too. Reports published prior to yesterday's announcement basically indicated that, Apple and Netflix were among the companies mulling a purchase of the MGM catalog and just sort of the company outright. And it comes to pass, based on the reporting that we've seen, that Amazon paid roughly a 40% premium. So clearly, they understand the value of having a deep, rich content library to kind of help people stay around. But you raised such an interesting point, right? And like one of the headlines I read sort of relating to this whole thing was, old Hollywood meets new Hollywood. And that feels so true because in like looking up some of the old historical moves that preceded all of this, this resort magnate Kirk Kerkorian bought and sold MGM 3 times between the 70s and the 80s. Ted Turner got involved. All of the pre-1986 stuff is still under his control, which is why you can find some of those movies on streaming services like HBO Max. It really does kind of feel like things have not changed, to your point. But I'm hoping you can maybe put a finer point on this. So some of those classic movies, like you said, Singing in the Rain, Gone with the Wind, I think The Wizard of Oz, 2001: A Space Odyssey, these are proper classic films that Amazon just does not have access to. So where is the real value here? Is it in the Rockies and the Bonds and the ability to sort of build new franchises out of old IP? Is that really the draw for them, you think?
I think for a lot of these companies, IP is kind of the big thing right now too. And you're seeing this with Hollywood studios where they would rather reboot something, or do a sequel or something rather than an original idea. So yeah, now technically Amazon owns the Bond franchise, but then it gets even more complicated because the Bond franchise is also co-owned by the Broccoli family, by Barbara Broccoli and is it Michael Wilson, I believe. They co-own that, so Amazon doesn't have full control over the character or what they could do with future movies. I assume maybe this deal means like the upcoming Bond movie No Time to Die, which has been delayed since last year. Maybe it'll hit Amazon Prime Video sooner. But that was actually the thing that was being rumored around Apple too, right? It was the idea that, hey, all of a sudden, all the Bond stuff would just be on Apple, and that would be the big pull. Maybe all the older Bond stuff will just appear on Amazon. I don't even know if it's all up there already. But there are going to be ways for Amazon to leverage this. But it is funny that the most valuable character in this entire portfolio is still not fully theirs. I'm sure they were like working on a way to like wrestle it out of the Broccolis, but that family started the Bond movies, right? Was it Cubby Broccoli started it? He was the original producer on the first one, and they just kind of kept it going. So talk about like a good franchise bet. Like the Bond series has just been so lucrative for them, and so fruitful. I'd say like a lot of movies and a lot of money coming from them.
Well, here's an interesting question that kind of stems from the Bond stuff too. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, having not seen a movie since ever, basically. So as I understand it, one of the big reasons Bond 25 has been pushed back was because they wanted to give it like a proper theatrical release.
Yes,
you can't really do that in the midst of a pandemic. Does Amazon buying MGM, does that possibly put that plan at risk?
I don't know if it puts it at risk. And I believe Barbara Broccoli issued a statement too saying like, hey, we are excited about this deal and we're committed to bringing Bond to theaters, because it's really, that is the power of that franchise, is for big budget, bombastic action. And the character is problematic. I'm sure there are going to be ways they need to like deal with that and who he is and what he represents, because he's just like a Cold War Lothario, basically, right? Like that was Bond. That's all he was for a while. I think I really like the Daniel Craig Bonds, but again, only some of them. I think Casino Royale, one of the best action movies made within the last few decades. That movie is solid and perfect in so many ways.
Oh,
and then it's like every other movie, they kind of falter, like Quantum of Solace. I don't, what happened there? Skyfall, like, incredible, but yeah,
the hard left from Casino Royale into Quantum of Solace. Just
maybe don't get as a quiet indie film director to make your big budget action movie. Like maybe that won't work out so well. It is funny. Spectre was the last one from all the folks involved in Skyfall. Spectre was also terrible. So there's always a back and forth. I'm really excited about No Time to Die. You've got Cary Fukunaga behind the camera, and I love everything that guy has done, and he's just an exciting filmmaker to me. So we'll see what all this means. Do you have any deeper thoughts here, Chris? Like I think one thing this could lead to is Amazon making a bigger presence in the world of theaters, which, as we've seen over the last year in particular, movie theaters need help. They are bleeding out money, and Amazon is over here with a huge war chest, and more content, and the impetus to be a big player in Hollywood. They could just buy AMC. We've talked about AMC and how bad that business has been for them. They were basically saved by some debt financing over the last few months, but AMC could easily, like, it would not take much for Amazon just to swoop in and buy out that franchise. They don't even have to change the branding. It could just be Amazon Movie Cinemas. They could just keep it like that.
Brilliant. I feel like I would enjoy seeing that, if only because I've sort of been tracking like the AMC like meme stock situation, and everyone seems like it's just not great. Like if you're like a regular run of the mill average Joe investor who just got into this because you thought, maybe I've been like saving up during the pandemic, maybe I can start to build up something by investing in AMC. Like, unless you got in like the very early wave, like basically everything that company did has screwed you over pretty drastically since. I don't know that Amazon is in a great position to do that right at this moment, at least just within the last few days, because for whatever reason, AMC's stock price rather has kind of shot up dramatically. I think it's nearing like $20 a share now, which was pretty much the high of like the early hypey phase of the AMC stock. So I don't think we can rule that out. And honestly, it just feels like a very savvy play for Amazon, who has more money than God and willing to just like splash out for basically anything.
For sure.
But I look, as long as I don't love the idea of Amazon just owning everything, like every physical and cultural touch point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if the way I look at it, Amazon is extremely not great in some ways, but if they can contribute in some small way to the prolonging, the continuance of, theaters as an experience, as a cultural touch point, that's maybe something to look forward to. Maybe not celebrated, because one company shouldn't have control over all of this stuff, but I don't know. I would like my kids to be able to go to a movie theater someday and like eat popcorn and take in that entire experience. Like maybe this is how it's done. Maybe this is how that survives.
And maybe it'll be done just like the Amazon grocery stores, where you just walk in, and you don't have to swipe anything, and you sit down, you get charged for the seat. And
you could just walk up to the concessions counter and just like get your own popcorn.
I'm sure that is. I'm sure like Jeff Bezos walked into a movie theater one day, was like, what is all this friction? Why am I waiting in line? I need my popcorn. Jeff Bezos will not stand for this. I am buying this franchise. If he comes up with a more discreet way to pump butter into your popcorn so people can't see how much butter you're pumping into your popcorn, I would go pump
Amazon.
It up from the bottom. Actually, it's actually a valve in the bottom, and you just stick it in there. Oh man. Let's just say we haven't really talked about this too much. I do think like if Amazon bought theaters, they would try to go the frictionless route. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I do think like a part of the problem with Amazon right now is that it has kind of spoiled us with sort of frictionless online purchases and things like that. So like that is where we're seeing the I guess the line between really smart and convenient tech, where it can actually start to have a human impact on the workers. Because for that frictionless experience, Amazon is demanding workers to work harder than ever. They're really pushing people. We've seen these reports from Amazon warehouses. The cost of convenience is getting higher and higher every year. And I don't know. I don't know what that would end up being like for theaters, but I also don't want to see these chains end. So the theater world has had like different stages. The giant multiplexes did not really exist before the 90s. I don't think young folks...
I did not realize that.
Yeah, people don't really realize that, but giant multiplexes, like the way you see them now, pre-1995, were not really prevalent everywhere. And then AMC and Regal and a lot of other companies kind of swooped in and made these things happen. But before that, it was like smaller movie houses. So where I grew up in Hartford, we didn't have a big movie theater anywhere close to us for a while. So yeah, I do think the movie theater and movie going world is going to change. It's going to be interesting to see how Amazon goes about changing that. But you know what? Let us know what you guys think. Would you want Amazon to own movie theaters? You want them to buy AMC? Shoot us an email at podcast@engadget.com. Let's move on to something I think you're probably more savvy with, Chris, like something you've probably been thinking about too.
I know movie. I saw a movie once.
You're the mobile guy, and you know mobile hardware.
Thanks for pigeonholing me, pal. God.
It's in your title. Valve is reportedly making a Switch-like portable gaming PC. Thoughts on this? Because I have many, to be honest. Yeah.
I would love to hear what you think, but like I think there's a chance for this to do well. There's no shortage of like other primarily Chinese brands, right? So like GPD does these. Just this past CES, we spoke to the CEO of Lenovo Japan, a Canadian guy who just was cool hanging out after I asked him via Twitter DM. And they're working on something very similar too. It's like basically a tiny netbook that you can strap into like Steam controllers. So clearly there is some demand, especially in specific markets like Japan and China, where people are kind of clamoring for this high-end gaming experience on the go. But literally every experience I've ever had with Steam hardware, with the exception of maybe like the Valve Index stuff, which I've never touched, like it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So do you think that they're in any better position now to make this happen?
I will say the hardware is out there. I covered, what was the Dell Alienware thing? Was it the UFO? But
the concept thing? Yeah,
the concept. So. It was the UFO concept 2 years ago at CES. And, Dell and Alienware showed off this thing that was just a giant ugly Switch, basically, with a bad controller, but it had, a decent graphics card in there. It had a PC chip. Like, it was this weird Frankenstein monster. I hated holding it and looking at it, but clearly we have the hardware here, and Nintendo has proved with the Switch that you could do a lot with a tiny portable machine and, modern system on a chip hardware. Like the what we're seeing now from Apple's N1 or something on that level,
right,
could power a really nice little portable gaming machine. Also, the way we're playing games is changing because we're seeing more streaming titles out there coming from like Xbox Game Pass, cloud streaming, and was it Google's thing, which nobody
Stadia? No way,
Stadia and Amazon Luna. There's a lot. So let me just say this: if you have a smartphone, it is not that hard to buy a little gaming controller adapter. I have the Backbone, which is available for iPhone. It's like a really cool, it basically turns your iPhone into a Switch, right? You snap it in, you plug in your iPhone in the middle, gives you 2 grips, all the nice buttons you need, and then I can just jump in and go play any game, but also I can stream games from my Steam PC at home while I'm at home, which is using Steam streaming built-in stuff. So you can already do some of this on modern devices, but I could see if Valve can make a device that is, sub 300, potentially even sub 200, just like, hey, buy this thing and you can stream your games. And if they made game streaming easier, both from your PCs and maybe straight from Steam itself, that could be pretty useful. I feel like that could be a big deal, but I don't know. Have you tried the Valve Index V?
No, I haven't. I just haven't really had the chance. And frankly, I don't really have the hardware since I can't buy any good GPUs.
Somebody should have come over when I had it set up.
I'm sorry. Thank you for shaming me for only coming to your apartment
once. The final shaming. The final shaming. Yeah.
This is not the final shame. You'll have more opportunities. But I want to ask, so looking through the Ars Technica story, Ars Technica had the exclusive, really good work from them. It doesn't seem clear to what extent the Steam Pal, I guess, is the code name. It's not clear to what extent the Steam Pal is meant to be a streaming machine, right? Like they do note that it's probably going to run a system on a chip coming from either Intel or AMD. That's in pretty stark contrast. That's in pretty stark contrast to what Nintendo is doing with the Switch, which obviously uses a NVIDIA chipset. So it seems like power will be less of a concern, right? Like this probably, if you were able to hook it up to a TV, it does seem like that is one of the priorities Valve is working on. Like you'd probably be able to get like proper 4K out of this thing. So I'm curious to what extent like Valve is trying to divvy up priorities here. Like it sounds like maybe we could get some decent performance out of this, and we have seen again from companies like GPD and now Lenovo with their weird little netbook thing, like they have 11th gen Intel processors. Like they should be able to play games relatively well,
some simple games.
I will say though, like streaming has gotten a pretty bad rap, but I will go on the record as saying I've really enjoyed Stadia. I've played the entirety of Cyberpunk 2077 on a Galaxy Z2 Fold or whatever the hell it's called.
Tell me this.
Just like docked inside a little janky $40 Bluetooth controller. It was great, man. Like
you're like the future.
It's not bad. I was like going home for Christmas and just like played it on the train. That's cool. Like
you
perfectly
played it
fine.
on the train. You were streaming while on the train too.
For like a little bit, for like 5 minutes. But the power, just knowing that I can.
I can imagine this being similar to something like the Switch, where you have decent low power for like simpler games, right, and minimalist games. But streaming, especially if you're streaming within the home and you're not going out and hitting Valve servers or something somewhere, if you're just streaming from your existing PC, that is actually much more doable within modern home networks, and it's super smooth. And also they killed off the Steam Link, which was kind of their previous way to get Steam games over to your TV. I can imagine if this is just like a future Steam Link that also has a screen, basically. Like what if this is the thing you could take around the house, but also dock it next to your TV and pipe over, 4K streaming, or at least something better than 1080p to your TV, even 1440p. That's really all you need.
Right.
But what if this could be something you walk around the house with and play some games, which is how I know most people use the Switch, but then dock it and stream, stuff from your library straight to your TV. That sort of seamlessness could be cool. And hey, I think Valve has like a mixed history with hardware, but I think the Index is still for me my favorite PC VR headset. So the things you actually have to plug in. The Index is good hardware, and Valve tends to lean hard on like their premium stuff. So that's the question. Is this going to be like a premium sort of portable PC device? They could probably do it because I think diehard PC gamers would pay $500, for a sleek thing that lets them play their games anywhere in the home. Mm-hmm. And maybe even remotely. Like if you're streaming from home, it is not even as hard to get it, treat your computer as a server, play stuff remotely. Then it just depends on your ISP, right? So
yeah,
there's a lot of things they could do with this. But looking at the state of mobile hardware, do you think we'll be seeing more devices like this moving forward?
I think that frankly has a little less to do with the hardware, because like the hardware, I think it's fair to say we're there. Like Apple's got stuff going on with the M1. ARM just recently announced like new ARM core designs that could be used by any of the companies that license their stuff. So that's a pretty big audience right there. The hardware, we could definitely do this. I think it's really just a matter of figuring out, do we want to be able to try and take on Nintendo in a space like this? With their Switch has just been
is it even taking on Nintendo? Like that's the thing. Is it taking, it's like value for PC gamers? Yeah,
sure, but like I think just yesterday or maybe even this morning, like we just got another report from Bloomberg about the sort of new we just got another report from Bloomberg about the sort of pro grade Switch with that OLED display. Like it might look like Nintendo is gearing up to just get new hardware out on the market, kind of get people on board who maybe hadn't invested before, and maybe give this thing a skosh more power, which would help it in theory, at least, kind of take on these sort of higher grade portable gaming machines. But to your point earlier, like that seamless kind of game playing style, I hadn't really thought about, but now that I'm chewing on it, like that does really make sense for me. Like I've got a decent sized TV, but I don't want to sit in front of it all of the time.
Right.
And like just bopping around from room to room, like laying in bed or just like hanging out on the couch away from my television, because you don't need your TV on all the time. That is actually a lot more powerful than I had anticipated. Like it hits me in kind of a gut place. So I would love for Valve to kind of move in that direction.
If you're feeling that, by the way, and you're an iPhone customer or iPhone user, check out the Backbone controller. I bought one. It is very similar to the Razer Kishi, which was their like plug in, plug your iPhone into that thing. Yeah. The Kishi feels kind of flimsy, and I don't like the way the buttons feel, but the Backbone feels like a freaking Nintendo controller that you basically stick your iPhone into. So that makes it was great. I've played some like Apple Arcade games with that thing, but it's also really good for anything streaming, like any big streaming game. And I played some Steam streamed games on my iPhone from my gaming PC, which is kind of cool too. So we get a lot of potential there, but stay tuned, folks. We will be paying a close eye to all of this, basically.
Okay, can you say that last part again? Because I think you swallowed a word.
Sure. Stay tuned to it. So there's going to be a lot happening here, folks, especially when it comes to mobile gaming. But, stay tuned. We'll be keeping an eye on all of this.
Okay.
Cool. Let's do a Q&A. How about that?
Yes.
Damn.
We've got some Q&A time.
Okay, yeah, just had to finish my notes.
No problem.
Remember when you said that you were going to introduce me at the beginning of the episode so I could say stuff and then you didn't?
Yes. Sorry, Ben.
So, yeah, and I didn't want to...
Next time, shout out at the beginning of the episode so I can redo it.
Yeah. But it was happening already. And also, like, I take a lot of notes at the very beginning, so I'm not going to...
Okay, well, when you want to chime in, I will do an introduction for you.
Okay. Well, yes, because I have a lot to say about Microsoft Build.
Yeah. Or the future stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so some of our comments that I banked. User blah blah says something about how, and can we verify this? Apple may have tried to buy MGM for $6 billion, but MGM said no.
We were reporting on, there were rumors that something was happening for a while. Yeah. Which may also be one reason why Amazon pushed up the price so much, right? It's like buying a house right now.
Yeah.
But so MGM didn't want to be bought, and we were like briefly talking about, at least before the episode, about how Apple might be trying to like get some kind of studio also.
I mean, that's pretty much it. I think a lot of people were saying the market rate for MGM, just given everything it had, was around $6 billion, and Apple wants a good deal. Apple wasn't going to pay more than that. Amazon wants to crush everybody and has a ton of money too. So yeah, they didn't mind overpaying.
And then we had another comment from, let me read this name slowly because I don't want to mess it up, but Haraldur Ulfir Jonsson, or Jonsson,
excellent,
who said there's a bunch of self-service cinemas in both Finland and Estonia.
What?
So, self-service cinemas.
Self-service cinema seems like a very troubling term, but yeah.
But it's something that exists apparently in Northern Europe and Eastern Europe. Somehow. So Haraldur also said in the chat, "Don't try to pronounce my name." Whoops, too late. I apologize.
You just walked right into that one. It's okay.
I apologize. But anyway, so I'm actually like not so surprised when it comes to Estonia, because Estonia is one of those like very sneakily, extremely connected small countries.
Yeah,
like
it's nice it's easy to be connected when you're small. Yeah.
Sure. Yes, they decided to a few decades ago that they are just going to be like the best at the internet. So they have really great internet connections. They also, like, I think that when you are born, you are given some like country identification, something like a social security number, but also an
email address.
No, not an email address. No, a public key.
I recall hearing this. Yeah.
Yes, it's ridiculous, but also, like you said, something that's way easier to do if you are a small country. So a little harder to do in the US, where there are 300 million people, and some of them are afraid that might be getting microchips inoculated into them.
I like the idea.
They would hate just getting a public key for better public or for better internet citizenry, because that's somehow the mark of the beast or something.
Yep. And also, like, there's stuff that we have to take time to get towards. But talking about self-service cinemas, I feel like that could be really good for a lot of people. I think over the pandemic, people have realized you could just call your local theater and be like, I want to book a screen for this movie. And it's not that expensive. It's between, like, you could get an older film, and book a private screening for like $100 or $150. And if it's a newer movie, then it's closer to like 300 or 400. But you get a couple of friends in, you fill out that theater bit and share the cost. Like, it's not that bad. I do wonder if we could do something of just like where you could crowdfund things more organically in a theater. It's never going to be like fully self-service. There's still going to need to be people manning, probably concession stands to actually make food and to clean theaters, and to, I don't know, just keep an eye out for things too, because theaters are not exactly safe spaces. Like, it's a dark room where people can be jerks and just be like gross to you. So like, you still need some sort of presence there to help with whatever the experience is. But it would be nice if we could just organically choose a movie, and then if other people want to come, sure, but you could block off an entire row for you and your friends or something. And then if everybody does it, then the price for everybody gets lower and lower. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Deb, is this your Blockbuster startup idea?
Yeah.
Is this what you're going to do after Engadget?
That's definitely going to work.
It's called Movie Pass.
Yeah. What?
Hey man, I'm a seed investor. I'll throw in $50.
Nothing went wrong with the Movie Pass.
Enough to get you a sweet
No, my
website.
My retirement career is just buying an old movie house and running it till it falls apart. How about that?
That sounds amazing. I want to go to that so badly.
Yeah, just a cool Cafe Clutch movie house. Yeah.
What is it? Oh yeah. So like, I've seen people rent out movie theaters specifically to play Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
whatever. Watch your favorite sports ball game. Like, you could do that, or even major events. Like,
I can only imagine that there might be a little bit of latency or something depending on the how you connect to
projectors
the screen.
are not great. Yeah, when it comes to input lag.
Okay, so you can play Smash, but you can't play Smash at a high level. It'll probably feel like playing Smash on the moon, where everything's very floaty.
But I can imagine like a Dota thing, which I don't know how instant dependent those things are, but something a little slower maybe would be good. I don't know. And there were reports of like some theater chains opening things up to like the Super Bowl, or major events where you want to sit with a crowd of people. You don't want to be in a gross sports bar, but you want to like enjoy this thing in a way. I think the uses of theaters will change moving forward.
But my question is, like, could that continue? Because I think that a lot of that was like just movie theaters trying to be relevant at all costs through the pandemic, and letting whoever wanted to be intrepid enough to come to a movie theater, whether or not that's a good idea, but like letting anyone do anything if you gave them money. But like, could that continue, do you think?
It could. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I do think some of the big multi-chains are going to die out. Like, that's the thing. AMC seems to be like the one that's actually like holding on for dear life, and I'm sure somebody's going to swoop in and buy them. I think we didn't talk about this during the Amazon thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix or Apple like try to pursue other studios as well. So like, it's going to be a weird time, but this is what Hollywood has always been about, is just like having these big massive properties and people at the top trying to scoop everything up and consolidating everything.
And so we've got Azbiz, that's AZZBZ, saying, will you talk about the next generation of Windows? Yes, we're going to talk about what little we know about the next generation of Windows in the next segment, which is all about Microsoft Build. And user John Lakosky says it would totally be up for an Amazon Go movie theater. However, did you hear about the real technology innovation that we talked about before, which is the thing that the way of making sure no one sees how much fake butter you've put on your popcorn?
Look, it's a sensitive subject.
I mean, it could literally be the same thing as how they fill some shaving cream canisters, which is from the bottom.
Yeah, from the bottom.
Okay, fine. Sorry,
which is also where you want the butter to go too. Like, you want it to like kind of arc through everything, and going from the top doesn't always get to the bottom.
I don't know about that, because realistically, you want your first few bits. Like, if you get a large popcorn, you're not going to finish that thing. Like, unless you're a crazy person or you've bought one thing of popcorn
for yourself,
for a family.
Sir. Yeah.
What? You mean, that's crazy.
I've had popcorn lunches. Yes.
That's a crazy amount of popcorn. But all I'm saying is, by the time you get to the bottom, like, it's not good anyway. That's the bad stuff. And
that's the best stuff. What are you talking about?
How
the
is
stuff that's soaked in butter and salt?
Well, no,
just like, oh yeah.
Cold oil and fat on your carbs. Excellent.
Sure.
I have seen someone take a straw, put it into the popcorn, and then put the butter down the straw.
There you go.
For better popcorn better popcorn.
Maybe the distributor should just be a straw thing you stick in, and like,
True.
I thought I had like hit a point in my life where I just couldn't be surprised by anything, and you just proved me wrong. This is great.
The straws are right there. They're just standing right next to the butter dispenser.
Well, yeah, I mean, depending on how long plastic straws are around for.
It's funny we're having this conversation. I think the fake movie theater popcorn butter, the fake butter makes me sick. I think so. I never actually get that. I usually just get like...
Is the most delicious chemical ever invented.
Oh my God.
Not to derail things, but I feel like I need to point out that Mark Dell made a Photoshop of me as Garfield, and it is absolutely horrifying. So I don't think I can show you.
Wait, let me bring this into my mind's eye first. Yeah.
I think this might be the only way to do it at the moment.
Sure.
Can we zoom in?
I hate this so much. It's completely accurate, but I hate it so much.
If
Velasco Field? Does it say Velasco Field?
Velasco Field, yeah.
So if you have a link to that or something, if there's any kind of permalink, you can put it into the chat here.
Can
we'll
we
make
do
it
this?
the cover art for this episode? Yeah.
Hey, please don't. I don't want to go out
man.
like that. How can I get this? Hold on. I got it.
We'll figure it out. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. So we will return to that. Why don't we go to Microsoft?
Let's just do our other news. And sorry, folks, the build news is not that exciting this week.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll get through it. We'll have some fun.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Oh wow. I mean, that's pretty good.
Thanks, I hate it.
We're done.
I've never loved and hated chat more than I do at this moment. Great. It's me. Whew. All right. Well.
Wow.
Be sure to tweet that. Somebody has to tweet that. Make sure.
You definitely got the stubble right too. Just like cool V stubble.
Shut up. This is me now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about build.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to some other news. Microsoft is having its Build Developer Conference this week. You probably didn't hear much about it because there's just not much news coming out of this thing. But there are a couple of things I wanted to just pull out. So they did talk about some collaborative app upgrades for Teams. And this is something Microsoft has been doing for the past year and actually probably for even longer. There's like a mini app store within Teams. So organizations can add in things like Asana, compatibility within Microsoft Teams, which is their like Slack-like competitor. So it's kind of hard to put into words, but it's almost like, imagine if Microsoft just wanted to build a Windows for work, like an overall platform that companies could launch and bring in other apps and do work, within it. These apps would let you do things like handle your Asana tasks within a Microsoft Teams video meeting, just kind of put it all in one place. And there's also like all sorts of different ways this could be useful. Companies could even build their own little apps to make Teams, work better for them and work better for their workflow. But the idea is that Microsoft Teams is becoming more than just, hey, Slack. It is becoming a little platform of its own. The other cool thing is these apps are cross-compatible. So if somebody built something for Teams on Windows side, it should just work on the Mac side in iOS and everything. So it is weird how Teams has transitioned to being like a bit of a platform of its own, especially when like I think people just love to rag on it. Although apparently it's very popular, according to Microsoft. Do you have any thoughts, B?
I've used Teams once or twice.
Yeah.
It seems perfectly passable, but I'm curious. So when Google I/O was happening, you were like up first with news, and I think the first thing you hit was Google Workspace. So do you feel like there was a
Google Smart Canvas? Yeah. Yep. There we go.
Is there any clean take?
Yeah. Yep.
So do you see any real kind of crossover between what Google's trying to do with Smart Canvas and what's happening with Teams here? It kind of from like a high level perspective sounds sort of similar, but I'm sure there's more going on here that I'm not super privy to.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think so. We've seen a generation of Office apps, right? And we've seen several generations of Office apps. Like you go back to like the 80s and the 90s, and it was there were things that just made spreadsheets easier to deal with, right? Microsoft Word made writing a document much simpler than it used to be in older word processors. In the mid 2000s, I think Google ushered in the era of putting those apps, on the web so that you can collaborate with people in real time within a single document. So that's like, I think the first real stage of real-time collaboration, because before that you had to like send docs to other people, they would track changes, it would be like a back and forth, and you just be like bouncing a file over email for weeks or something. This to me seems like the next stage of where we're headed. So it is both the real-time collaborative nature of Google Docs plus like the bigger power that you get from a dedicated app like Teams, or like a real Office app. So basically, you'd be able to work on files in different ways. Microsoft has been talking about this thing called Fluid Framework, which is just them trying to reassess what an Office document is. And Fluid Framework components are basically things like tables and charts that you could plug into one document. But when you make an edit on that within that document, if that chart is linked somewhere else on like a spreadsheet or something or an email, those changes would immediately show up over there. So it's sort of like deconstructing a document and taking those components in ways where multiple people can work on them from anywhere. And I think this is going to be a harder thing to wrap our heads around. Smart Canvas from Google just feels like a slight upgrade over Google Docs and Google Sheets and everything. That'll let you do things like tag tasks to people or pull in a Google Meets video call right alongside your Google Doc. But we're going to see more and more of this. I feel like that's where we're headed. None of this may make sense to you now and probably won't even be relevant to you until like you're in a workplace that's, using this stuff. But I think in terms of the way we work, it's worth noting. Like Office apps are important to white collar jobs and a lot of jobs and schools and things like that. So seeing the way we work change to me is kind of fascinating, but hey, it's Build. I'm just going to scrape and take whatever cool like semi-consumer news I can get. Because you covered something around a green software initiative too, which I think is cool, but may not actually affect consumers much.
Yeah, the Green Software Foundation. So this was, to back up for anyone who hasn't heard, Microsoft, along with ThoughtWorks, the Linux Foundation, a few other companies, plus additional nonprofits like the Green Web Foundation, and Goldman Sachs just decided they wanted in on this too. They've developed what they're calling the Green Software Foundation, which is at its core sort of an advocacy group meant to kind of encourage new practices and developing sort of new ways to make software development more sustainable, which on the surface sounds a little strange, right? Because if you're sitting at your desk and you're writing code, like that snippet of code has virtually no like real environmental impact. But you've got to figure this code winds up, it could be running on massive data centers, which already, I think
when you commit it goes to a server somewhere, it gets backed up. Like there's all these steps along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. And then once it gets pushed into production, if it does wind up in like a big sprawling complex, those data centers roughly account for around 1% of like global electricity demand as it is. And the forecast for that sort of energy use is expected to rise pretty significantly in the next 10 years. So there is definitely value in thinking about how to minimize impact on hardware and just sort of figure out ways to make the process of developing software a little more eco-friendly. But I do have to say, like, this sounds great. Like, I'm all for sustainability. Microsoft, obviously a company that is committed to going fully, I believe, carbon negative by 2030. So they're being very aggressive in how they approach just sort of their overall function, their overall structure. But I got to tell you, reading the news, I got very little. Like what is green software? What is sustainable software? Like
this is finding news from Build, by the way. It's like, yeah. I read through over 50 pages of like news that Microsoft was dropping, but hey, it was all mostly developer stuff because this is a developer conference. So that's just how it goes. One tidbit that I think people got really interested in, though, is Satya Nadella, Microsoft CEO, confirmed that the company is working on a next generation of Windows, which to me just seemed like, of course they are. But people got excited when he mentioned it at Build. We didn't even get a glimpse of it, right? He just said there's cool things he's been testing out for a while. He's incredibly excited about it. His quote specifically is, "Soon we will share one of the most significant updates to Windows of the past decade to unlock greater economic opportunity for developers and creators." To me, this sounds like the rumors of Microsoft kind of changing the store, the Microsoft store on Windows, and potentially the way it works for developers, and maybe the way even people, can access apps or something. But it's been, when did Windows 10 drop? Wasn't that like 2014?
God, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I wrote that review for us, so I got to look up that timing. But it has been a while. So if Microsoft was going to do a next generation version of Windows, which I'd predict just call it Windows, make it they basically turned Windows 10 into this perpetual OS that is updated very quickly. There are major updates a couple times a year, but it's not the sort of thing where
it's not like Apple. Like these things don't get names. They're just like baked into the fabric of Windows very seamlessly. And that's it, right?
That's it. And to me, that seamlessness is good. I think Windows 10 as an OS is pretty solid. They've really like streamlined their interfaces down from the like, Windows 8 certainly days and Windows Vista days. So I think Windows 10 is like a good starting point for Microsoft to do new things. We did just talk about them killing off the idea of doing Windows 10X, which was this OS kind of switched up for dual display devices. We'll see what's happening. I feel like just calling this thing Windows or making a next generation OS that works great across single screen and dual screen devices and mobile, maybe even, is probably the best way to go. What do you think about this, V? Like, how much of a Windows guy are you?
It's fun. I was going to say, I fairly recently built myself a gaming PC. I'm talking to you now from like,
congrats.
I bought an Intel NUC just because I wanted like a little computer guy.
Which NUC?
Oh God, I don't know. It's got like an i7. It's a couple years old. I got it
Okay.
pretty cheap. But like that's what I'm using right now. So going from like the way that we work within the context of like Verizon Media, like more often than not, you'll get a Mac. You probably have like an iPhone as like a work phone. Like I've spent a long time very much steeped in like the Apple ecosystem. But I've like started to move away from that now that I'm like starting to piece together like big setups for myself. And I gotta say, using Windows 10 now in 2021 is such a joy compared to not even Windows 8, which was just a disaster, but just like even when Windows 10 launched, as you pointed out, in 2015 is when you wrote that review.
Yeah.
So it's come a long way, and I've honestly really come to prefer it over Macs, honestly. So if what you're saying is possible, if Microsoft is able to develop one single unified OS that can run across its full breadth of devices, like I wasn't ready for it before. And I feel like that's probably true of a lot of people, but Microsoft is not the entity that it used to be. Like, I am finally ready to buy in if they can make this work.
I mean, listen, I'm excited about this too. I just did a slight rebuild of my computer. I moved up from an Intel 8700K system. I spent Monday tearing apart my motherboard and my PC to upgrade to an AMD, was it a 5800X system? So, there's a lot to be said for like what you can do with Windows, and I want more power for this platform because I spend most of my time within Windows, even though I have a work laptop and everything. I want to play games, I want to do like the high end stuff. I want to use like high refresh rate monitors and things that you can't easily do on Macs right now. Mainly games. I want games. I want the flexibility of like what Windows offers, and I also grew up on Windows, so it's like this is my home. I feel most comfortable within PCs here. But yeah, you know what, folks? Tell us what you think. Are you a Windows head? Are you a Mac head? What would you like to see from the next generation of Windows? And what would you like Microsoft to avoid? Because we all remember Windows Vista and Windows 8. There are certainly a lot of places they could go where things can go bad. So shoot us an email at podcast@engadget.com.
By the way, Windows Vista wasn't that bad.
Shut up. What?
It wasn't.
What? It was really bad.
It was bad compared to XP, but on its own merits, was not that unpleasant to be around.
It was nice. It was bloated. I think that was the thing. Like Windows Vista was bloated. I had to help support Windows Vista when I was an IT guy. It was not fun. No it was not fun. Like, fair. It was basically like, hey, XP just works. It's not like well designed. It's not like as passion forward as OS 10 was, but it was cool. It worked. And then Windows Vista just like added a layer of gunk on top of what was already working on XP. And then we got 7, right? Which I think
that was a joy.
7 was good. 7 was good. 7 was like nice and clean and core Windows. Then they did 8, and I was in at Mobile World Congress in 2012, where they showed off like some of the first bits of Windows 8. And it was this crazy idea. It's like, hey, tablets are a thing now, right? Like smartphones are a thing. Let's build this interface that could be great across all these devices. I don't think Windows 8 worked out very well because they forgot people like the desktop. So I'm interested. In where Microsoft is going. Shoot us an email, folks. Let us know what you think about all this.
You probably ran into a very young Velasco at that MWC. What I still felt the need to like dress nicely for work and stuff.
Oh man, it was just like a haze, but hey, that was my first Mobile World Congress, and it made me love Barcelona. Love that place. So I would love to go back there someday when things are safer.
Let us know if you'd like us to do a special podcast episode live from Barcelona.
Let's do it from Barcelona at one of the tapas bars, and we're just
Yes.
like, we'll just get crazier and crazier as time goes on. Let's talk about one more bit of news, which I thought was really cool. So the Usbc, was it the commission, the USB Implementers Forum announced a 240 watt version of USB-C, which is basically doubling its power, because right now USB-C is limited to 100 watts of power. So I don't know if you have deep thoughts about this, Chris, but let me just say, like, as somebody who reviews laptops, I'm distinctly noticing the limitations of where we are with USB-C charging, right? It is the thing we all wanted. We want a single cable to charge our phones and charge our laptops and tablets and everything. But USB-C is mainly only good for ultra portables, or very mainstream computers, because 100 watts of charging, if you have a dedicated GPU, if you have a really powerful dedicated GPU in your system, 100 watts of power is not going to cut it. That could mean that if you're charging over USB-C, you're actually losing power because your system is drawing more power. So that was a problem, I believe, with the Surface Book 3 for a while, where Microsoft, it was drawing too much power than its charging was providing. So you typically see USB-C, adapters on lower power notebooks like ultra portables. I review a lot of gaming notebooks, and those things still come with giant AC power bricks because they need to provide 200 to 300 watts of power, So even though gaming laptops have gotten smaller and smaller, they still need to push a lot of power. And that also means they still need a separate power, pin port on these computers. So maybe this USB-C change means we could have future power adapters that could also do that high power over USB-C. They'll still probably be very big because that's just physics. You need like a big unit to actually drive a lot of power. But at least, hey, you won't need both a USB-C port and a AC adapter port on your system. What do you think about this?
Look, man, I'm stoked for it. Like, I've gone within the last couple months, I think I've gone fully all in on like gallium nitride chargers. Like, I've replaced every
Really?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like they can be somewhat pricey, but like there are great ones from like $50-$60, even below that now.
What's the big benefit for you? Just like faster charging?
It's faster charging. So most of mine are like in the 65 to 85 watt range, but they're also tiny. Like they're just like
so small.
Yeah. Exactly. So I don't know what's going on with gallium nitride. I'm not a material scientist. I'm sure my parents would have loved it if I had done that instead. But, if we're able to kind of continue that pace and kind of continue building out really, really powerful charging bricks that are super portable that can output 240, like I'm down. Like, I will reset my entire setup again, because like, to your point, I am not like a gaming laptop person. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this probably are, but for me, most days it's like, if I have to use a portable machine, it's going to be like the work MacBook Pro, and that that ships with like an 85 watt charger to start with. So yeah, it's all a bit wasted on me. But if I can just sort of pare down, like if I could bring one 240 watt gallium nitride charger with a couple USB-C ports, just have one of those on a trip and charge everything. Maybe not that fast, because if you're splitting the load, it can be a little hinky. But just I'm really looking forward to like one single all-in-one charger, and then never having to worry about carrying around multiple bricks and multiple adapters. Yeah, like that sounds beautiful.
It's really the adapters. Like when I first started doing tech journalism, right? And I started doing CS and stuff. I was like, oh man, I need a portable battery of some kind, right? Yeah. And I bought this like Energizer thing that was a 2 or 3 pound brick, but it had like 20 different AC adapters that you could attach to it to charge your laptop.
I remember these.
That helped me survive CES for several years. I was also running like one of those Intel laptops back then that were like super low power too. It was like a thin Asus.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was not fun to cover CES like that. Now we have machines that can last for over 15 hours, and charge over a single beautiful cable like USB-C. Things are so much easier now. I feel like people aren't really recognizing that. PCs are good now.
For sure. Yep. And to be absolutely clear, like your experience at the depths of CES, the dark bowels of Las Vegas with your gigantic Energizer battery, that leads to developing a kind of character that might not exist anymore. Like you pushed computing to its mobile limits at the time, and that is to be respected, my friend.
I'm sure we all did, but man, it was not fun. Let me tell you that. CS is not a fun thing to do, but lugging around a giant battery.
You miss it.
I kind of miss hanging out with everybody. So you know what? Another thing I miss is Computex. So let's talk about what we're working on. Computex is happening sort of virtually next week. We know there are going to be some big keynotes from companies like AMD and NVIDIA. I basically upgraded my computer to get ready for whatever is dropping from there, because I have a feeling we'll see some new hardware. So I got to be able to test, folks. I need something better than a 2017 era Intel CPU to do that. So stay tuned for news. We're going to have a lot coming out of Computex. I also want to shout out my piece about Moxie, which is the robot companion for kids I've talked about. I showed it on the stream a couple weeks ago. It's called Living with Moxie, the robot companion for kids. Check out this piece. I basically wrote up my experience living with it for a couple of weeks. Sadly, my toddler is too terrified of it to actually play with it, so I spent a lot of time just talking to Moxie, and just learning to love it. And I shot a quick video on Twitter too, so if you check on my Twitter, you'll probably find it there. But it's me just talking to it for 2 minutes, and this thing, it's cute. It is a cool, vibrant looking robot. The animation, the movement of its arms and head and everything, feels very organic. It feels like a Pixar character come to life. It has a giant screen for a face, but that also allows them to animate it in ways that are really expressive. So I found it cool. It does cost $1,500.
Yo!
After the first year, there is a subscription, a monthly subscription of either $40 to $60 a month. So it is an investment. I hear they're going to be talking about rentals and stuff soon, so maybe that could be more of a thing for parents. But yeah, this is a device meant to help kids learn to, be a little more social, meant to be a companion to lonely kids. I could also see it being useful for neurodivergent kids too, who may need a little more help when it comes to things like socialization, maybe things like helping them learn to read and things like that. This robot could be cool. And I just think it's really cute. But I did find it hilarious that my daughter was just nope, this is a Terminator, and I'm not gonna mess with this. Goodbye. Chris, what are you working on?
Hang on, real quick about the Moxie. Yeah. Is it a little weird to you that so I'm looking at your video on Twitter, and just the quality of the facial animation, the expressions,
it's alive. Yeah,
it feels. Is that not a little unsettling? I would personally feel, and granted, I know that this is a device for kids and clearly they respond to this, but if it were up to me and I had a robot in my house, it would be a bit more. Do you remember Jibo?
Jibo.
Yeah, it'd be a bit more Jibo where you have personality, but it's clearly not trying to emulate a human's facial expressions.
Here's the thing: we are broken machines, and our own evolution causes us to personify everything. So Jibo was just a circle, right? It was just a circle on a screen, and that was how it communicated, and we started to treat that like a living thing. This just has eyes and a mouth and expressions, and I find that to be kind of cool. It is a next step up from Jibo. But yeah, we're humans, and we will personify literally everything, because we have to give agency to everything unless it's a rock. So
yeah, that's wigging me out a little bit. As for what I'm working on, not a ton. I'm just kind of taking it easy. I will say WWDC is happening quite soon, so I'll be working on a preview of everything to expect. So if you want to learn more about kind of what we think Apple is going to announce, or at the very least what we hope Apple is going to announce, stay tuned for both the written story there and the video. I've also just been horsing around on e-bikes. I learned how to ride a bike during the pandemic, which is
wait. Let's take a step back.
Okay, fine.
You learned how to ride a bike.
Yes.
Not just an e-bike, but you learned how to ride a bike during the pandemic.
Bikes,
First
period. All, bikes in general.
Congrats on doing it. How many scraped knees did you get?
None. I only beefed it once.
Okay, that's not learning how to ride a bike. I have scars on my knees from childhood bike accidents.
Look, I can't help it if I was just really good at it as a 32-year-old. That probably helped
as
too.
A grown-up, yeah.
Just having an intellectual understanding of, oh, okay, if I do this, then that happens. Yeah, that helped a lot.
You didn't just go flying off of boards that you made as ramps, into nothing.
Look, I'm not saying I'm not saying my experience was perfect. I do kind of wish I had just done this as a child, right? But
Yeah, yeah.
immigrant family, like we were all super busy, like we didn't really have time for that. But I did it, and now I'm just like putzing around on e-bikes. So stay tuned for some interesting e-bike stuff coming up soon.
Which can you say, or is it embargoed?
I don't know. I think it's embargoed.
Okay.
So let's suffice it to say, I rode a bike and I feel really good about it.
You rode a bike. It's really good. So kind of in that vein, I'm going to be at some point getting the Rad Wagon.
Oh, shoot.
Which is, I also want to see what e-bikes are like for families, right? I want to strap Sophia onto the bike, want to ride around, want to use it as like a cargo bike. My wife does not drive, but we live in a neighborhood where she could conceivably like ride a bike quickly to a grocery store or something. And an e-bike would be so much better because it's like pedal assist. You know, it's not like pedaling everything for a full size bike. That would be super useful to her. So I'm going to be testing that out soon.
I feel like what I just rode the other day is exactly what your family could use.
Okay.
So we'll talk about this once we shut the podcast down.
Once we shut it down. All right. Thank you so much, V. Let's keep going. Actually, let's go on to our Engadget picks. What do you want to shout out in terms of pop culture this week?
So this happened last week, but it stuck with me. It was a very pivotal moment for me because it was the first time in my life that I had ever managed to watch the Eurovision Grand Finals.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Thank you very much. It's always the kind of thing you just sort of catch up on YouTube after the fact. For anyone who doesn't know, Eurovision is sort of a Europe-wide song contest that does typically include Israel and Australia as well. Basically, each country votes on their own representative song, and then they all go and compete to figure out what the best song of Europe is.
I feel like Americans finally know what it is because of the Will Ferrell movie, which really sold the concept. Yeah, which is a fun movie, to be honest.
Which I will never watch it.
What?
I will never watch that.
It's a fun movie. What are you talking about?
I take Eurovision so seriously.
Oh my God. You're like Sherlyn in karaoke. This is why I can't go to karaoke anymore with Sherlyn. But yeah.
Look, I've had to deal with it you just have to put up with it. Like you just have to know that she's going to be really good and the rest of us are going to be fine at best.
Yeah. Well, you know what is funny about the Eurovision movie is that the songs are actually pretty good. Like the main song in that movie was nominated for an Oscar. And I was actually like secretly rooting, like I want the Eurovision song to win an Oscar because it would be hilarious.
To be coy about it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So again, noting that I have not seen the movie, Yaya Ding Dong was like a thing that came up in that movie a bunch of times. And the delegation from Iceland, when it came time for each country to allot their points to the countries that they thought did their song best, Iceland just made like 12 Yaya Ding Dong jokes in a row. And it was the worst thing I'd ever seen, especially because I was really rooting for Iceland to win. They had what was to me the best song that would have been in Eurovision 2020, but they canceled it. So you can't, like it didn't happen. Aww. Those guys came back. Dari Freyr or Gagna Magnid is like the name. Dari Freyr and the Data Plan, essentially. They came back this year. I think they came in like 4th or 5th. I was crushed. But Italy won Eurovision for the first time, I believe, since like maybe 1990. It's been quite a while. So a lot of emotions going here. I was
wait. So you're a dedicated Eurovision fan, but this is your first time seeing it live.
Well,
I don't know.
Hear me out. Within the past few years, like I think some cable channels got the rights to broadcast. I think Logo had it for a while, which is like great, but maybe not super accessible if you're like me and don't feel like paying for cable television ever. So this was the first year that it was available on Peacock, and I believe you can now still go back and watch the replay on this largely free streaming service in America. So if you have some time to kill and want to watch some Yaya Ding Dong jokes, or just watch Italy just like crush it, like. Sorry, I'm going way too in depth into this, but the way it works is each country has, a bucket of points to allot to the other countries that they thought did well. It's a very political process, so like it doesn't always feel great. But then the public vote comes in, and all of a sudden everything you knew from that first round of voting is just gone. Like Italy went from like 5th or 6th to the top spot and held on to it the entire time just because the people of Europe really enjoyed watching Italian rock stars who may or may not have done coke during or after Eurovision 2021.
I mean,
it's a beautiful thing.
I just assume they had. Listen, if you're an American and you don't know what we're talking about, maybe do check out the Eurovision movie. It's called the Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga. I think it's pretty funny as far as like modern Will Ferrell movies go. And also it has Rachel McAdams, who I think is hilarious when she tries to be funny. And Mr. Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey, who is just turned into like a great actor who's done all sorts of like different genres. So I love Dan Stevens. Check out that movie and check out the last Eurovision on Peacock. I just want to quickly shout out something I've been watching. I've been making my way through Master of None season 3, and this is the fabled Aziz Ansari Netflix show, which it's coming back like 4 or 5 years, I think, after the last season. And it's really after like he had like a bad experience because of the article that went down about him and his awful date and how he treated that date. So that's I think a lot of people have a lot of feelings in terms of how you're going to reapproach Aziz Ansari's stuff. I watched his last stand-up special. I think he acknowledged everything he did wrong and is trying to make good. For this season of Master of None, he is barely on screen too, because the series typically was about his character Dev, who was just like a cool, Brooklyn guy. He was like a young actor. He lived like the cool hipster life in Williamsburg. This season is all about Lena Waithe's character, and she was in the show from the beginning, but it is more about her and her wife, and they're living basically, and correct me if I'm wrong here, V, but I think they're living the like Brooklyn ideal upgrade. Like they're in upstate New York in a cute farmhouse, with like chickens, and like she can write, and it's just like nice. So idyllic. So it moves out of Williamsburg and into that environment, and it is all about Lena Waithe's character and her relationship with her wife. And I think it is astounding television. It is less of a comedy than Master of None was originally. It is at times devastating. It is full on drama at times, but I also think like they still know these characters really well. Deb, the character, shows up a bit, and you get to see where he is at, and it is unfortunately not a great place. But it's like a very realistic. If Master of None season 1 and 2 was like this, the hipster dream of being in your 20s and being in New York and, having a decent amount of money and a cool apartment and being able to like hang out with your friends all night and do all sorts of things. Master of None season 2, I believe he was in like Italy, and they just made like a black and white Italian neorealist film with him. This season feels more like, another type of European drama, right? It feels like Scenes from a Marriage or something. So it is definitely worth watching, but strap yourself in, because it is also emotionally devastating. Whoa. That's my recommendation. But
I could use that though.
You could use that.
That's nice. I did also see.
Yeah, it is nice. It's nice to like make yourself cry, and this thing will make yourself cry. I also saw Army of the Dead, which was really bad. I'm not going to talk about that. Do not watch that. Yeah. Go listen to my review on the Slash Filmcast if you want to hear about Army of the Dead. But with that, I think we're out. Anything else you want to mention, V?
Please go watch Eurovision.
Please go watch Eurovision.
Your life will be better for it. And also,
and V, please watch Eurovision, the movie, because I think you would enjoy it.
Maybe. You know what? Yeah, sure. Why not? I got a weekend coming up. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. That's
okay,
it.
Chris, can you do the
Sure.
Sorry, what?
Oh, can you do the outro?
I was going to ask. I've always wanted to do it.
Go for it. Do it.
Okay. Go do it.
So, all right, here we go. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Engadget Podcast. Our theme music is by game composer Dale North. Our outro music is by our very own managing editor, Terrence O'Brien. The podcast is produced by Ben Ellman. You can find Devindra online at
Devindra on Twitter, and talking about movies and TV at the Slash Filmcast at slashfilm.com.
And if for any reason you want to talk to me, you can find me at Chris Velasco on Twitter, or you can email me at v@engadget.com. And speaking of email, speaking of email, Devindra, you can email us at podcast@engadget.com with any feedback, any questions, or anything that you'd like to see. Please consider leaving us a review on iTunes. And please also, if you liked whatever we've been doing, subscribe on anything that gets podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, whatever you like, we're there. And we want to get your support. Thanks for listening.
Good.
How was that?
Oh, our naughty video team. Thank you, Julio.
God
We're really
damn.
making.
Doesn't have to move.
He's talking. He's talking.
Well, yeah. If you don't have a mouth that moves, it needs to move up and down. That's how that works.
Mark, I hate you so much. I mean, I don't. This is amazing,
Great.
but also
That's great. All right, we got some time. We could do a little more
Okay,
Q&A.
Yeah, we can do maybe 15 minutes of Q&A or so. So chat, if you want to say something, or if you have any questions about literally anything, if you want
this is your Amma
some help,
moment.
yeah.
If
you want some help, if you're thinking about buying something, you want some help, like figuring out deals or like what manufacturers to go after, absolutely, just ask us questions. Literally anything. Ask about literally anything other than Velasque Field.
I'm sorry I even brought that into this. It's just been on my phone this whole time, so every time I look away, it's just there, like fat Velasco.
Oh, do we have that? We don't have ugly selfie Velasco.
Oh, I mean,
that would be
we
a
could.
good image to put in.
So, do we just do this? Do we just roast me for a while? Because I'm down. I'm sure I can find one. But yeah, if we have any questions, we can definitely take one of those while I look for one of these.
What do you think about Windows 2000? I see this one from Mark Dell. Listen, I was that guy in college that was like, Windows 98. No. You need a Windows NT based system, people. And yeah, Windows 2000 was the shit in the year 2000, 2001.
I don't think I ever used it. I think I went straight from like 98, not even second edition, just like a regular 98 into XP. And I feel like that was probably a lot of people too. I'm a man of the people, Dev.
I mean, listen, I grew up on Windows 3.1 and then 95. So like, but college was my time. Before college, is like I literally spent that summer just putting together my first PC, which was an AMD Thunderbird system, like one of the first chips to go past 1 gigahertz. It was monumental at the time. But that was a fun way to get into college. Yeah.
So Ron Barzaba, yes.
Mm-hmm.
How many
Barbaza.
Yep, I know. I was wrong. I apologize, Ron Barbaza. So Ron Barbaza says, how many ports do you want out of that possible 240 watt gallium nitride charger related to the 240 watt USB-C news? So three? Is three enough?
I think, well, for my needs, yeah. Like if I have one outputting like at 100 watts to like my Mac, just to
cover
it.
like a laptop, yeah.
Exactly. And then one to split between like, my Z Fold 2 and like whatever other phone I happen to be using at the time to get those charging at high speed too. I'm set. Like I don't need anything else.
Technically, yeah, you only need 200 then. And then like you get a little bit for other stuff. I don't know. USB Type A devices, sure.
So yeah, like I know Anchor has a few gallium nitride chargers, but are there any other better places to get your gallium nitride?
So I am very much the kind of person who just like buys whatever sort of looks good. There's a company called, I'm going to butcher this, Baseus or Basus. And I believe that they sell a lot of their stuff off Amazon. Most of their Amazon stuff is like random PC accessories. But I've used a couple of their gallium nitride USB-C chargers. Like there's one that's, I can't find it at the moment, but it is like a total mainstay of my travel kit. It's got, I believe it's got 2 USB-Cs and a USB-A. So, I'll charge my phone and my laptop off of like the 2 USB-Cs.
Nice.
And then like Apple Watch off like something that doesn't require a lot of power, ebook, like a Kindle or something. It's perfect for that.
Cool. Very cool.
Cannot recommend these enough.
I want to shout out a question from Chris Angelo Perez, who's asking if I've seen Edward Yang's Yee, the movie. I have not seen that. It is on my list actually, but I do like drama set in Taipei. Basically, like Taipei as a city is really cool. We've been there several times for Computex. I do kind of miss it right now. So when I chat out, I miss Taipei. It was just like a nice break from America for a week, basically. But yeah, Taipei story is a great one. I believe Ang Lee's Eat, Drink, Man, Woman is actually set in Taipei, which is also a perfect movie. I love that movie so much. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm Googling. I think I saw Taipei Story, and I was
Taipei
just
Story
like,
is a big one. Yeah.
Taipei, which is in Taiwan, which is a country.
Which is a country. I'll fight you, John Cena. Yeah.
oh God, yeah, that movie was so good.
It was so good. Yeah.
Just like watching that guy like refuse to grow up in a lot of ways. Like it's just like there's the pull of like modern 80s Taiwan, and this guy who just like cares about like baseball and like catering to like old patriarchal whatever. Is like it was a really good time. I did not know what to expect out of it. I just wanted like some Asian cinema one day. It was perfect.
There's also a movie called Goodbye Dragon Inn, which is really good, which is about the end of like a martial arts theater in Taipei. It's like a 2003 movie, and I found that really good too. And the theater's kind of haunted, which is also how I feel every old theater kind of is, you know.
Oh, hey, Metrograph released it. Hell
like
it's
not even a theater isn't even good if it isn't haunted.
Yeah, you got to have some soul in there, literally.
By the way, if anyone wants to pay $5 for like a bunch of really cool screenies and stuff, support the Metrograph in New York. Beautiful.
Support your local indie theaters because you can actually stream a lot of stuff over video on demand. Stream it at home, but give your indie theaters money when you rent them. Yeah.
And if you don't have one, just go ahead and support the Metrograph. This message was not brought to you by the Metrograph.
Metrograph is good. I like the Brooklyn Academy of Music. So hey, take your pick, spread your money around, spread the wealth. Yeah.
Yeah, was it the last movie that I saw in theaters, period? No, I don't think so. But I saw Birds of Passage at BAM.
Oh, man.
Birds of Passage.
Yeah, that was like it was honestly a little bit like a Central American Lord of War.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Someone like got in too deep on like the drug trade and all of it. Like they just wanted to make a little bit of money for like their family to like do stuff, but then they just got stuck and like got into a drug war, and like a person that helped them with, you know, I think it might have just been weed that they were mostly trading, but like like a neutral third party that helped this guy like get started. He was like, oh, I just want to make this amount of money, and he's like, yeah, sure, I can help you make that amount of money. And then they just keep on going. That neutral third party ends up getting killed, and like it ends up being such a weird situation. It was a very good movie. I honestly don't know if I could tell you. I mean, I stumbled through the plot, so it was one of those things that just went in one ear and out the other, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm taking, by the way, any recommendations for Spanish language cinema. We're not going to MWC
any recommendations
this year.
There's so many, but yeah.
Well, I'll take it like whatever your favorites are, because like I know enough Spanish to get by, and it's always reinforced by going to MWC, so I can just like flex it.
Yeah.
But I don't have the opportunity, nor do I have many people around me now who speak
also
Spanish.
There's watching, and my wife has this issue too, like Spanish in different countries is spoken very differently. So if she tries to follow Spanish from Mexico, it's a fail thing for her. Like she cannot do it. Whereas
that's very difficult for me too.
Spanish movies from Spain are a little clearer, like in terms of what she can do. Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Angelo Perez, I think, has gotten my number in terms of the fact that I listen to music like a teen, and says, Ben, any thoughts on the new Olivia Rodrigo album?
Okay.
So I think the best thing that I've seen about Olivia Rodrigo is this thing in The Cut by New York Magazine. The headline of the article is literally, Olivia Rodrigo, please, I'm 30.
Okay.
It's just like, please, I thought that I was done with these feelings. Stop making me feel these feelings that I thought I was done with like 15 years ago.
Is it because she's young? What's up? What's up?
Well, yes, because the person who wrote the article is like, between 28 and 32 or something. And it was like, come on, stop being so 18 at me and also making me empathize.
I mean, this is how I feel about Billie Eilish, but I also love Billie Eilish now. So,
so the really important thing to say about Olivia Rodrigo, I'd say, is that someone figured out that the chords to "Good for You" and Misery Business by Paramore are the exact same.
What?
And there is a perfect, like really one of the best mashups in years that goes back and forth between Good For You and Misery Business. And you should all listen to it. Follow me on Twitter at HeyBellman, HeyBellman. I tweeted it like a couple of days ago, or maybe just yesterday. It's honestly like spooky how good it is.
This really... is like me when people start talking about music. I just like kind of fade out. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Okay, well,
I will check these things out.
That's how a lot of people feel when you probably start thinking.
Exactly.
Start talking about movies.
Exactly.
Oh, and another important thing that I banked from when we were doing the show and forgot to talk about. So, the user Gabriel, I think that they may have also been the person who just said that boy hates Mondays and started this whole Chris Velasco
it's Gabriel's fault.
Is saying that the Velasco field should be sold as an NFT.
I did say that. You know what? Fine. I'm here for it. That's fine. I won't ask for anything. Just know that.
Hey, but it is based on your likeness, so I think that you should, if you want to do the full accounting on it, you should get at least like 17 to 25%, and then we'll see if that ends up creating any kind of royalties for you.
You gotta stop it, Julio. I hate this day.
Okay, so Danny asks, at this point, do you think that it's worth getting a Apple MacBook M1 versus just a Windows laptop? That's a big question. M1, there's going to be an M1 upgrade later this year also, but
I mean, there always is.
Professionals.
We're probably going to hear about it at DubDub. So realistically, just give it a week before you make up your mind.
Give it a couple weeks, but also we probably won't even be seeing those computers for a while, right? Like they may mention it, but we probably won't see them until towards the fall. I love my M1, like the M1 systems I've played with. I will say if you just need a nice, easy to use laptop, the MacBook Air M1 is solid, but people can't always live on Mac, like on the Mac, like sometimes you still need new PC stuff. And if you're buying a new PC, look at the AMD hardware, especially AMD's like higher end Ryzen chips are super fast, super solid. Right now, I feel like Intel is the one that's kind of struggling a bit, but to be honest, no matter what you get, if you're getting a modern PC, a modern CPU that was released this year, you will be fine. You will be perfectly fine. So just, take your pick. I just feel like the M1 has a little more zippiness compared to the others.
That is probably true. Although I will say, if anyone listening to this or watching this uses Slack and or Chrome on a regular basis and is looking to buy a MacBook, don't buy a MacBook with an M1 with 8 gigs of RAM. It is
always get 16 gigs.
It is bad. Yes. It's very bad. Like Apple sent Devendra the Cool Macs to try out, and they sent me like a MacBook Pro with 8 gigs of RAM. And it's just like every other time I open it up after it's been put to sleep while doing something in Slack, it just locks up for a good minute and a half, 2 minutes. Like
really?
It's not pleasant. Yeah, it's not great. Good. It's very unpleasant.
But yeah, my overarching rule for everybody, if you're buying a new computer and you can afford it, go for the 16 gigabytes of RAM, because then your computer will last you 4 years, rather than 2 before you start to get really frustrated by it.
So we have Ray Exception in the chat talking about how there are leaks suggesting that the MacBook Pro or MacBook Air might be using an M2. I have been gorging myself on those leaks, but I'm not going to say very much about that because I know it's Engadget's policy not to chase every single little leak.
We could talk about it here.
Yeah, but I think that it's more likely that it might be something like a bridge chip. Yeah. So like
probably
original is M1. We might have like M1X in this one, and then another release sometime in the future will be full M2. But I would love to be surprised.
All I will say is that Apple announced the A14 in the iPad Air before the iPhones, which is historically when they've done that. Like we got a bit of a sneak peek. So if we're going into a new processor generation and they're working on, I guess, the A15s for the mobile side, we know the architecture between those specifically mobile chipsets and what's going on in the A1 is very, very similar. So it is possible. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we'll get some sort of heads up about new Macs running an M2 or something during WWDC to be released, as the vendor says, probably a couple months down the line.
In terms of the design of this possible new MacBook Pro that I've been following very, very closely, I am genuinely afraid that the Apple watchers and serious fanboys are trying to will into existence a second coming of the 2012 MacBook Pro, because everything that they've said about ports and getting rid of the touchscreen bar and everything, and the presence of MagSafe again, it seems like they're trying that it's possible that this could be a second coming of the 2012 MacBook Pro that everyone loves so much. And you might even be hearing in the background this thing that's trying to take off on my desk is a 2012 MacBook Pro. But I'm really worried that they may just be trying to selectively confirmation bias or something. They might be taking the information that seems the best possible for this form factor that they really, really love, and then everyone is just going to be disappointed. There are going to be a bunch of fanboys that hurt their own feelings because they wanted something. They wanted it to be this specific thing so badly.
I don't think we'll ever see USB Type A again, but at least give people more USB-C ports. And
it wasn't going to be USB Type A, but it was going to be more USB Type C ports and a possible a possible SD card reader also, which I'm not sure whether or not that's likely.
Could see that happening, and it'll probably be. I wonder. There were rumors of them just going straight up to a 14-inch, MacBook Pro, 14-inch and a 16-inch because this year. Kill those bezels. Drop those bezels. Shave off.
Hey, by the way, give us a 3x2 screen. That would be lovely.
That's never gonna happen.
That's why I'm probably gonna buy a Surface laptop. I just like that screen format.
It's a good format. They need to update that laptop more. Yeah.
So I shouldn't buy the new one, is what you're saying.
No, buddy. Right. Good luck.
Okay.
I reviewed it, and I reviewed that thing, and I don't even remember it.
So that's the interesting thing. Everyone who reviewed it, I think everyone got not necessarily the lower spec, but the AMD models, which everyone I think agreed were not maybe as up, but you can also get those with relatively new i7s, right? I don't think those have been reviewed as thoroughly.
Yeah. Microsoft has not been as good about sending us different types of hardware, so. But also, if you're buying a PC now, you probably want an AMD chip because they're a little better in terms of they're more efficient and they're also much more powerful in certain instances. So yeah.
So before we close out, Chris, can you? I knew that you probably didn't want to go and look very closely at your PC right now, but can you tell us what version of this Nuke that you have? Nuke.
Yes. What's the easiest way to figure this out?
Tom,
I've Velcroed it to my desk. Hold on.
Nice.
Give me a sec.
Okay, good luck. Don't destroy your computer. All right, folks. We're gonna wind down.
We're on our way out. We started talking about Macs and
12-inch MacBook.
Everybody's talking about Macs now.
I love the 12-inch MacBook, by the way.
Me
too.
Was a
good remark, Phil. Yeah.
I destroyed one by using it at a beach, and sand got under the keyboard.
Madness.
That's your own fault.
It was my own fault, and you know what? I continued to use it for a while, but no idea. I believe it's from 2018, so whatever that generation's i7 NUC. There you go.
Does it look like the square box, or does it have the skull on it? Does it have
It's like a. It's sort of a rectangular prism that's about 1.5 inches tall.
Okay, yeah. So you have one of the gamer ones. So that's pretty solid. Yeah,
nice. It's been more than enough for this, and that's all that I need.
I've loved them. I reviewed a couple of them, or probably the one you talked about. They've just always been a little too expensive, especially when we're seeing what the Mac Mini and things are going for now. But I want small form factor PCs to be a bigger deal. I've also got an old Intel chipper sitting around now. I need to do something with.
Wasn't your old office computer a NUC?
I had it was the Skull Canyon NUC or the Hades Canyon.
Oh yeah, it had some really wild branding.
That had like the one AMD Intel, cross promo chip with the Radeon graphics.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, did you, when you moved from New York City, did you make the intrepid trip into the office to like?
Oh yeah, I talked about this. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I talked about this not really to get stuff, although there were a couple things on my desk I had to yank out. But I had like 50 pounds of old tablets and smartphones. Like V, you know how it is. This stuff piles up, and these companies don't want these things back a lot of the time. So it's like, okay, I have this crappy thing from Acer or Asus, and nobody wants it. So I put it in a box. I wheeled it on the subway, like granny cart wheelbarrow style, and just left it. I put a sign on it. I was like, electronic recycling by the service elevators in our office, because that's where we normally dump electronics. And then they like the IT folks like called me the next day to just be like, hey, did you leave these here? Like, yeah, it's fine. They have to get rid of them. Like that's their thing.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say you took that box outside and put up a sign that said "free computers" and then walked away.
Listen, once the hardware is several years old too, and these companies don't want them back, I just have to give things away, or donate them. I've donated things to libraries and schools and things like that too. But yeah, when they're really old, those batteries are not safe, folks. These things start to like spontaneously explode. So yeah, I don't want too many old batteries around either.
The last time I went to the office, I saw that a Samsung Galaxy Note 5, its battery just like expanded. It didn't explode. It like tripled in size. So like,
was it left plugged in?
No, it was just sitting on my desk.
Just happens. Yeah.
Oof.
Pretty bad. Pretty gross.
Okay, I think we're toward
thank you, folks.
Done. So let's thank our video team. Thank you for derailing everything with Velasque Field today. This stream comes to you via our video team, which is led by Kyle Mock with Owen Davidoff sometimes and Julio Barrientos. So it was really like, I think, just Julio and Luke today. So Julio Barrientos and Luke Brooks, but it's powered by everyone in the chat. Thank you, and also no thank you for giving us Velasque Field.
No!
Velasque Field.
What
does he look like in robot form again? What if we combine Velasque Field and Moxie Robot? Oh boy.
This is actually like Chris's San Junipero.
Mm-hmm.
He gets uploaded to.
I mean, listen, that's the ideal. That's where you want to go.
Is that where I want to go? Hey, cool. I can't wait. Please have me on again, so this isn't my last episode just looking like that. It would be so nice.
That's now your thing. You're never gonna have another image to like sync to. That'll be on your ID, Chris,
well, hey,
like,
you know what?
So
interesting. I do need to provide a new headshot, and I don't have one with like my new shaved head. So maybe it's just that. Maybe I send that one as my new headshot.
So if you stuck around this long watching us horse around, rate the show on iTunes. You know better than the average person that it's all about the algorithms. The algorithms really help. And, sometimes people just leave mean reviews specifically because they're annoyed. So it's really nice to get nice reviews because you enjoy watching our silliness or something. So thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks. Bye.